You too can enjoy the most deliciously satisfying bite of pumpkin cheesecake with my healthier gluten-free version. We're gonna start by making our crust, and I find it works best in either a blender or a food processor. So we're gonna begin with 1 cup of pecans, but you can also use almonds or cashews. And then we're gonna blend the pecans all by themselves to chop them down to a nice crumbly texture. Ooh, those are perfect. Then we can add 1/2 cup of oat flour, 1/2 cup of almond flour, 1/3 cup of coconut sugar, 1/4 cup of coconut oil, and give it that classic graham cracker flavor. We're gonna add 1 tablespoon of molasses, 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, and 1/4 teaspoon salt. And then we'll put on our lid and blend till it's well combined. Next, we want to spray our springform pan, and I'm just using a little bit of coconut oil. And then we can dump in our crust. And then just using a spatula, I'm gonna quickly spread it around so it's pretty even in our pan. And then a really great hack for pressing down your crust is using the bottom of a measuring cup. And you'll want to use one that has a 90-degree angle on it. And I'm just gonna lightly spray the bottom so it doesn't stick. Then I can kind of use this rolling motion to help press it up on the sides. And I can go around and kind of pinch my fingers together with my thumb and help press the crust down on the edges. Well, that looks great and is ready to go into a 350-degree oven for 10 minutes. Now in my oven, I've placed a 9x13 baking pan and then filled it with water, and that's going to create extra steam in the oven, which will help keep our cheesecake from cracking. But it's okay to have it set up before we pre-bake our crust. To make the pumpkin cheesecake filling, we're going to use our food processor again, but you'll want to make sure and rinse it off so you don't have any of those crumbs from the crust. First, we're going to add 12 ounces of cream cheese, and that is equal to 1.5 blocks of cream cheese. Then we'll add 1/3 cup of maple syrup, 1/4 cup of cottage cheese, which is going to make it even more soft and creamy, 3 tablespoons of coconut sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice to get all that classic flavor, and 2 tablespoons of tapioca flour, which will help to thicken it up just a little. We've added all of our ingredients except for the pumpkin and the eggs because we want to really blend these until they're nice and smooth so that the cottage cheese curdle texture as well as the cream cheese are really blended together. If we had added our eggs at this point, they would be overmixed. So we'll just put on the lid and then let this blend for about a minute until it's nice and smooth. Well, that looks perfect. And the oven just beeped, letting us know that our crust is done. Well, this crust looks and smells incredible. So I'm going to go ahead and set this on the counter and let it cool for a minute while we finish our filling. Next, we'll add 1 1/4 cups of pumpkin puree and 3 eggs. Now I'm just going to blend this on low until the eggs and the pumpkin are well incorporated. Now our crust looks fantastic, but you can see that it puffed up just a tiny bit. So I'm just going to take the measuring cup again and go in and very gently kind of press it down and push out on the edges. And then we can pour in our cheesecake filling. Oh, that is so beautiful. So I'm just going to gently spread the filling and it's going to go right up over that crust. Now this is ready to go into our 350-degree oven with our pan underneath that's filled with water to create that steam. We're going to cook it for about 50 to 55 minutes or until the top appears to be even and it's just lightly starting to brown around the edges. Now during that 55 minutes, be very careful not to open your oven. I know it will be very tempting because you don't want to release any of the steam in the oven, which could cause cracking in your cheesecake. But as soon as the time is up, you want to turn off the heat and then just open your oven door and then allow it to sit for about an hour and just let it very gently cool down inside the oven. If needed, you could prop a little wooden spoon or something in your oven door to keep it from closing. Now this might seem high maintenance, but I promise it will give you a fantastic result. To make our cinnamon cream cheese whipped cream layer, we're going to start by melting down 2/3 of a cup of white chocolate chips. Then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of coconut oil, and then I'm going to heat this in the microwave in 25-second intervals, taking it out to stir in between until it's smooth and creamy. So after one interval of 25 seconds, it's just beginning to melt. So I'm taking it out to give it a quick stir, and then I'm going to put it back into the microwave for another 20 seconds. So after our second interval of 25 seconds, we are just about there. I'm just going to stir this for a minute and let it continue to melt. Ah, that's perfect. I love using the white chocolate as the sweetener for this cream because you can choose the chocolate chips that meet your dietary needs. And there's lots of great varieties out there available that are naturally sweetened without any artificial ingredients. Not only does that mean we don't have to add any refined powdered sugar to the cream, but it will give a really nice consistency to the cream as that chocolate hardens. We're gonna bring back our food processor so that we can really blend down that cream cheese with all of the other ingredients. So we're gonna add 8 ounces of cream cheese, or 1 full block. Then we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, just to kick up that tangy flavor, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a couple dashes of salt. And now I'll pour in the melted white chocolate. And then we'll put on our lid and blend this on high until it's nice and smooth. Oh my goodness, that smells so good. And we can tell that all of our cream cheese has been well incorporated. Now to make this even more light and creamy, we want to add 2 cups of whipped cream. And I just took some heavy whipping cream and just blended it right here into this container. Now we're gonna just pulse it a few times just until those ingredients are blended together. Well, that looks great. Now I just need to fish out my blade. And then with my spatula, I'll just go in and make sure it's all nicely stirred together. And I think we might need a quality control pinky test. Oh man, that is so good. Might have to test this again. Well, I have a gorgeous cheesecake that I baked earlier, and as soon as the time was up, I opened the oven door and then allowed it to cool off for an hour. And then I took the cheesecake out of the oven and allowed it to rest on the counter for about another 30 minutes to cool off. And then I put just a paper towel over the top, covered it with saran wrap, and then put it into my fridge until it was thoroughly chilled. Adding that little piece of paper towel helps to soak up any moisture that might accumulate while it's cooling off in the fridge. But now it's ready for its delicious whipped cream layer. So I'm just gonna take my spatula and scoop this cream layer right on top of the cheesecake. Oh, that is so beautiful. Those little specks of cinnamon are so pretty. I promise this would be the ultimate cheesecake experience. Now we need to let this layer chill completely. So you can put this into the fridge for probably about an hour, or if you're a little less patient, you can go ahead and put it into the freezer to speed up the process. To make the cinnamon oat crumble, I've just placed 2 tablespoons of butter into a microwave safe bowl, and then I'm gonna heat this up for about 20 seconds just to melt down the butter. And now that the butter is melted, I'm going to add 1/3 cup of oat flour, 1/3 cup of coconut sugar, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a couple pinches of salt. And we just mix it until it has this nice crumbly texture. And as it cools off, the butter will start to solidify, making it even more crumbly and delicious. The top layer of the cheesecake is now chilled, but before removing the cake ring, you'll want to take a very thin knife and just go around the edge and separate the cream from the pan. And this will make sure that that cream doesn't stick to the ring as it comes off. Okay, moment of truth. We're undoing the ring. Ah, perfect. Phew, that looks amazing. Now I'll come in with my knife to cut out a piece. So next I'm gonna scoop on some of our cinnamon oat crumble. For the caramel topping, you can use your caramel of choice. This is my maple syrup salted caramel sauce. And I've included a link in the video description below to my recipe, as well as a video showing you how easy this sauce is to make. And then drizzle this over the top. I'm ready. Seriously, that is like beyond words amazing. As soon as you bite in, you get that soft pumpkin cheesecake layer, and then you get the little bit of crunch that's coming in from the crust, as well as from the crumble on top. And then you get the natural sweetness that comes in from the caramel sauce, and that just perfectly balances some of the saltiness and the nuts and some of the other slightly less sweet flavors in the cheesecake. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today to make this cheesecake. I've included a link to the complete recipe in the video description below, and it's on my website, gentletummy.com. And I also invite you to like and subscribe to my channel. And I cannot wait to have you join me again in my kitchen.